Okay, music fans, welcome back to the Real Music Observer. It's Dave in the car, observing the road a little bit and trying to talk about real music a little bit as well. Just for you and me. Okay, so Journey alternatives. I'm probably going to start doing a whole series about bands and things that I like that are alternatives to the band Journey. And on Twitter and on Facebook, I've kind of woken some people up to the fact that there is music out there. See, here's the thing. A lot of us who grew up with this music more or less fell off the turnip truck when grunge hit. People were like, what the heck is this? Because we had been raised from really the 1950s forward on the concept of melody, okay? Harmonies, melodic rock, and this other medium comes around, and you're kind of like, okay, well, this doesn't sound like anything we've heard before, and it didn't, you couldn't, I was in radio at the time, and we were putting a song by one of these bands next to a song by, say, the Rolling Stones, and people would call the station and go, how can you put that song in there next to that? I mean, the songs a lot of time, even though some of them caught on and some of them sold millions and millions of copies, they didn't mix well with real classic melodic sounding rock. And Journey sort of epitomizes the idea of, melodic rock on steroids. I mean, it's a band that understood sort of this meld between almost like a classical influence, especially when Perry and Kane came along. And Perry had this soul tendency. I mean, the dude wants to sing R&B. Let's just be honest. He Sam Cooke, Otis Redding. I mean, that's his. You can know that's his heart, and other people have said it. Steve is all about soul. Steve Augeri did an interview where he just talked about Steve's about soul, man. And he couldn't have gotten it more right. I've run into, not literally run into, but I have discovered through YouTube and other sources, this producer, this keyboard player. He's an award-winning keyboard player, by the way. I looked up some of his bio, and I had a really nice chat with him on Twitter. I told him, I said, I hope your association with me doesn't hurt your career. His name is Eric Ragno. I think that's how you say his name. It's Ragno if you're spelling it. And if you want to Google it and look it up, he is associated with some of the coolest projects. Some of them on the Frontiers label. This band Chimera I've been listening to as of late. This other band called, I believe I don't know if he's associated with it, but I also discovered LRS. And this project called Hugo Ramos with Hugo Valenti and Josh Ramos. Oh man, I mean, it's what I got on in the background right now. I can't get enough of that album. It's just, and it came out in 2008. And again, It I've done commentary on American radio and American radio formats. I had a little sort of tweet fest with a friend on Twitter about how radio programmers in this country do not understand, what goes well with classic rock. They could do a classic rock format and play some of this melodic stuff that would go side by side and fit very well, unlike the sort of angst-driven, whiny vocals and lack of playing and production skills that you hear on some of the stuff that is being foisted on these record labels by corporate executives who just want to make a buck and who really don't care about what you listen to. Brainwashing might be okay to some degree if the brainwashing actually is a cleansing effect. If you're going to brainwash someone with music that you think they're supposed to like. That's just a form of manipulation. And when you listen to that music, you're trying to convince yourself, I like this, I like this, I like this. And that's what I did in the 90s. I was like, I like this. And then I'm like, I really don't like this. And people would make fun of me. You know, I'd go back and drag out a copy of some 80s album. I'd be listening to, like, Poison. Seriously. I mean, Bret Michaels. I mean, that's melodic. These guys woke up in the morning and they said to themselves, how can we compose a riff, a catchy riff or a catchy hook? You hear it in a lot of the early 80s bands. I think of the Greg Kihn Band. I think of Tommy Two-Tone. I think of all of that. Rick Springfield. All of that stuff that just, wait till they hear this riff. And that's gone now. It's completely gone. And that should be depressing. But this guy, Eric Ragno, go look him up. Go check out who he's performed with. These are awesome projects. I mentioned Hugo Ramos. I'm going to keep talking about that album because it's fantastic. But there's a lot more. This band Chimera, and again, he said he's working on another project with them. So I'm looking forward to hearing that. But most of it is uploaded to YouTube, iTunes, wherever you get your music. I think you can find it. Chimera is a weird spelling. It's like Khymera. But this is like melodic, 80s sounding, but it's fresh, it's different, and that's the whole point of this video. You're going to need some alternatives to Journey, especially if you like the Journey of, say, the 1980s, the Perry era Journey, the Kane era Journey. That's just me. I just like discovering new things, and I kind of, like I said, fell off the music wagon for a while. But now, thanks to Frontiers and some other fine music labels, I think there's enough music to go around for quite some time. All right, I'm Dave. Remember, check out Eric Ragno. Eric, dude, if this hurts your career, I'm really sorry. Just understand that, any publicity should be good publicity. Look at it that way. All right, and I'll talk to you soon.